stand-up is a little different because you're getting on stage. Everyone knows you've been working this shit out for a while. You're doing the podcast and you're saying stuff. How often afterwards are you like, why did I just say that? Or at this point, it's like, whatever.
Well, when I was still mad at my parents and I would tell the stories, like, that was weird. Because it was like, why am I like, and people would always go like, where were your parents? It's like, who gives a fuck where my parents are? They're here now and they're awesome. And it's like, I totally forgive them. And I just don't have any negative feelings about anything that's happened to me. Like, I really, truly have like done the work, and I'm so fucking happy. Like, I really feel good. So it's like, I don't have it now. But when I would go through that story and it would like, the comments would be like about that would feel bad. Because I'm like, my parents know people and they probably, the caliber of the podcast I was going on, we're getting a little bit higher. And I was like, oh no, more people are watching these.
Well, it's like Tim Dillon and his Aunt Kathleen, that one episode where he just like shits on his aunt so hard, where I watched with my sister and I was like, I would love to do this to one of my aunts. Like, I would love to do this.
Sister.
You may have already said too much.
Yeah, no, I actually already have said too much about my aunts lately.
It is like an interesting thing though, because it's like, you don't want to drag people, but it's also like, it is your life.
Yeah, and also people relate to it because you hear a story about your family, and
it's also like, so funny.
Always,
it's so funny to talk shit on your family. But like with my parents, like I don't know. My family, we like love each other, so it's fine. I don't really feel that anymore. But there's definitely like, you'll say something and then you'll be like, ooh, should I? But then I'm working on just being like, cares?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make me a bad person. You can fix any mistake you make.
Do you think you're so okay with everything now because you're successful? Like, if you didn't get to this point, would you be like, I fucking hate these people?
I did just order a Tesla, and I'm feeling pretty good at getting jizzed on in high school by my teacher. I want to send a thank you note to my teacher.
Yeah. Well, you're doing great. I mean, obviously, like, I said this to Nikki Glazer yesterday, too, when we had her on, that, like, I felt like during the pandemic, all the comedians just utilized YouTube to such a higher extent than they were before. And then like,
I wish so badly you had said to Whitney or to Nikki, like, I just feel like over the pandemic, Annie Lederman's been doing. I would love to.
Mention you.
Oh, was she like? I mean, we're friends and everything, but it's so funny.
Oh no!
When someone mentions someone else, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, I thought you were talking about.
Honestly, I did. I rattled
off.
You started
to say the thank you. Like,
you did rattle off.
I rattled off you,
Rogan,
Whitney, Tim, Chrissy D. Like, I was like, all these people, and she was like, me too.
It's so funny. Like, who did that to me? Oh, some guy that was opening for me on one of these weekends I was doing. He was like, oh, he was talking about this club. He's like, it used to be so awesome, like back in the day. And I was like, thinking he was gonna go like when he was like, you know, when great comics like, and I was like, and then he was like listing people that I'm like, I am so much better than them. Like, I was like, when do I come up in this?
Yeah, as long as your name is mentioned in the mix, I feel like it's fine.
Chill ego, you're good. You know what you are. I start swallowing them.
I feel like I heard maybe you and Whitney weren't like hitting it off right away, right? Is that something?
Whitney judged the roast battle that I was on. So Jason Reitman, who's actually directing the new Ghostbusters, wanted to direct a documentary about roast battle. He's like, this is the only place you can be real. It's like, it is kind of with cameras on. But so he wanted to like film it. And so they had me battling against one of my friends and like a couple other people battling, and then they like, you know, came and filmed us like getting ready and stuff like that. And I was like, Sundance, we'll do it. I'm in. And Whitney was one of the judges, and Whitney kept saying things like, I was just in roast battle mode, so I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill everyone here, you know? And my friend had just been saying crazy mean things to me. I was saying mean things to him too, but it was just like, you know, you're in like, I'm like in like battle mode.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, she said something like, you should smile more up there. And I was like,
oh no.
I was like, I'm not on the streets of New York anymore. Like, you know what I mean? And then so there was like that, but she wrote me this whole text message that was like, it was so fucking sweet because I didn't even think she like remembered me or even noticed that. I mean, I love that I think I'm like getting away with like just shading someone so hard. And it's like, I'm the most obvious. When I compliment people, they don't believe me. They're like, fuck you. I was thinking, I'm sorry.
Being serious.
I don't like your eyebrows then, bitch.
Yeah.
But so she saw it and she got my number from someone, but she was like so much more successful than me at that point. You know, it was like, I'm like, oh my God, this famous person's talking to me. And so she texted me this whole thing like, I'm so sorry. I really like, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, blah, blah, blah. This whole thing where I'm like, it was like almost too much where I'm like, bitch, chill. And so I thought it was like really nice, but kind of crazy, you know? So then I'm like showing my friend Thomas Dale, hilarious. He's like a clairvoyant now. I don't know what he's up to, but if you want a reading, hit him up.
You shouted out so many fucking people into this camera.
Because I'm a good friend, motherfuckers. When people ask me for help, I'm like, you're going to get it when I want to give it to you.
Yeah,
you don't need to ask me. I'm always helping bitches. But so I was sitting with him at lunch and I was like showing him, this was like 3 days later, okay? I was showing him the Whitney text and then we were like talking shit on stuff and I like, actually another female comedian, we were talking like mad shit on this other comic. And I like grabbed my phone weird and I had been recording it and I sent her the voice memo of how mentally ill is it to send, and it's 3 days later.
I have for sure have had that moment where I didn't realize that it was doing the voice memo thing,
and it's sent.
I always catch it before it actually sends.
It's sent.
And then what the fuck happened?
Then I was like, I was like, hey, like I sent another. I was like, oh, it's so awkward. I was like, once I did this with my diarrhea, like it's gonna be worse.
Oh my God.
I actually would have rather diarrhea, but it was just it was like so crazy to like talk shit on another. It was another like famous comedian that we were just having a fun time, just fucking destroying her.
Yeah.
And I don't talk shit like that anymore.
No, but it's always fun until you get caught. You're always having a great time, and then
I had some
you get
friends
caught.
like have an intervention with me once, where they're like, you talk so much shit, and I was like, I mean, everyone else did too, but I was like, I refuse to tell people when other people talk shit on them. So I kind of got thrown under the bus where I was like, you guys are talking shit on her too, but I didn't want to say it, so I was just like,
Okay.
yeah.
But when I really thought about it, I was like, they were fucking so right. And I definitely was being so judgmental.
Yeah. And then what did Whitney say to all that?
Oh, to that, she completely ignored it. And then we became friends later. I don't
Wait,
even.
what do you mean she didn't answer your voice
No,
note?
she'd given me enough. The famous woman had given me enough.
Yeah.
The famous woman, I was like living in my car. Like,
How
she'd given me enough. I
badly
was homeless.
did you want to jump after that?
No, when I was like, I'll just hit her up when I see her again. And then I don't think I ever saw her for a while.
Oh my God.
It's, you know what?
That's
You know what it is about being a comedian though? When you humiliate yourself, it's like, okay, I got a bit or something.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
funny,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
right.
You know, so it's like, it's okay.
It's sitcom. It's part of
Yes,
the
exactly.
great episode. It's a great episode.
That's great. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. When
it's
bad
top
things happen.
rated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.